telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Reactors, I have just seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, so you know what we must do. We got to reel in this review.
And then I looked at my uncle and...
let me guess. He died?
Straight to it, this movie is phenomenal, guys. I mean, oh my God, I was in shock. I was in awe. I could not believe what I was seeing from an animated movie. This is one of the best animated films. This is one of the best animated comic book movies. You can put it in that category. Not only that, you can put this in the same category of all the comic book films. This movie is phenomenal from start to finish. The character development is at its best here. The voice acting is just as good as it was in the first. The action is thrilling. The score just amplifies the deeper moments of this story. Plus, the music album from Metro Boomin is hitting. This movie absolutely rocks. I went into this film not thinking that it would surpass the first film. I had my expectations through the roof, like super high. I have never set my expectations this high going into a new film or a sequel to a film that is called Peak. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is one of my favorite films. I adore that movie. I've seen it quite some times. I've seen it recently just to prepare myself for this new film. So my expectations were through the roof, and this movie doesn't even scratch it. It blows the doors off my expectations. I had no idea this movie was going to be that good. I was expecting to be like, yeah, this is a great film, but no way it's touching the first film. But no, man, this movie surpasses the first film. People aren't lying. The audience isn't lying. The critics aren't lying. Everything about this film that you have been hearing and that you are hearing from me is true. This movie is
sensational.
But what I love most about this movie, I told you guys about the characters, and we have many characters. I told you guys about the animation, the score, the music. It's all hitting here. The voice acting, it's all great. I told you that. But what's exciting me the most and what had me locked in is the story. The story is so good. The character arc that Miles goes through, the character arc that Gwen Stacy goes through, the character arc that Spider-Man 2099 goes through, Miguel O'Hara. There are so many characters in here, and the way the writers, the directors, everyone who created this movie were able to tell a cohesive story with as much things that are going on in this film. You got the explaining of the multiverse, the spider web, just how everything is working within this multiverse, how everything connects. That whole explanation is phenomenally done. Way better than the explanation that we are getting currently with the MCU. I think that, you might say that's a hot take, but that is how I'm feeling. The way they explain the multiverse is perfect in this film. And while explaining the multiverse, they have to balance all of these characters, and we get so much characters. I mean, you've seen the trailer. There are tons of Spider-Man, tons of Spider-Woman too as well. They are all in this film. This Spider Society is forever growing, and it's just big in this movie. I mean, this movie is filled with Easter eggs on the left of the screen, on the right of the screen, on the top left corner, bottom right corner. There's Easter eggs everywhere. You're going to have to watch this film multiple times. I'm gonna watch this film again. I have to see this again before next week, and you know what comes out next week. But I have to see this movie again just to spot so many Easter eggs. I mean, I feel bad for all the YouTube content creators that are going to do a breakdown video on this movie because the Easter eggs are everywhere. And there are some really good Easter eggs. Not only that, the many cameos. This movie is filled with cameos. Big, ginormous cameos I did not see coming. Make sure those cameos, make sure anything about this movie is not spoiled for you at all. But wow, man, I was so shocked by the many cameos, and the movie balances them well. They serve their purpose. They're here for a short time. They don't take up much of a screen time, but when they are on screen, it is good. Same with the Easter eggs, because like I said, the story is the main part. That is what hooked me. And before I talk in depth about the story, they also balance by setting up not only the Spot, which is the main villain in this film. Speaking on the Spot, I thought at first he would be a joke, and then he turns out to be this high-level threat. And wow, I was like, no way, that is what they did with this character? Holy crap, that is giant. And while juggling everything that I've talked about so far, they managed to set up the third film really well. As you guys know, this is a part 1. Part 2 is coming out next year. That is titled Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. And they set it up so well. I cannot wait to see that third film. But speaking on this story. In this story, Miles Morales is Brooklyn's full-time friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And with that, Miles knows that he has a lot of responsibility. Being a hero, stopping crime whenever he sees it. But not only that, showing up on time. He's struggling with doing that, and his parents are seeing that, and it's putting a struggle between their relationship. Mom and dad are worried about him. He's worrying about the city. Not only that, he's trying to juggle school and prepare for college down the road. This kid has a lot on his shoulders. And on top of that, this man has to deal with the many choices, the many decisions that he has to make throughout this movie. And there are some big stakes here. And that is why I love this story. Plenty of stakes are on the rise. And Miles has to make the choice. This is his story. Not only is this his story, but Spider-Gwen. This is her story too, just as well. She's the start of this film, and by the end, it is Miles and Gwen that ends it and leaves it in a gigantic cliffhanger that reels you in wanting more, which is Beyond the Spider-Verse. Miles has to do so much dealing with the multiverse and what comes of it, learning about the multiverse like I talked about, going to different dimensions, meeting new characters, awesome characters, meeting Hobie, Spider-Punk is a big part in this movie in which I love Spider-Punk. Every time he was on the screen, it brought a smile to my face. I love the animation style that he brings with his character. And also, Spider-Man India gets a lot of things to do. He's great. I forgot the actor that plays him. All that I know is that the actor starred in the Deadpool movies. He was the taxi driver. He is great as Spider-Man India. Jessica Drew, awesome. So many Spider people are in this film. I'm not going to talk about a lot, but I want to say Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, played by Oscar Isaac, hits. And you understand him. You understand all of these Spider-Man, Spider-Woman's story. You understand it all here. And with Spider-Man 2099, he's got a lot going on. He's trying to keep everything together in this movie. And Oscar Isaac plays Spider-Man 29, Miguel O'Hara, really, really well. And he's 50-50 in this film. Sometimes you're going to agree with what he's saying, but then there's other times you're not going to agree with what he is saying. It's a bind, and it's a stress level that is through the roof for Miles Morales when dealing with all of these characters. He has people in his corner, he has people not in his corner, and it feels like Miles is being pulled. Like you've seen the classic Spider-Man 2 scene with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trying to stop the train. It feels just like that. Miles is trying to hold his family, everything that is close to him together, while holding and keeping together the multiverse. This kid is put through a lot, and I love it, and I feel for him, and I understand him. There are times where I'm like, Miles, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? Are you understanding the bigger picture? I understand how you're feeling, but look at the bigger picture. But by the end of it, I know why he's doing it. And I am in his corner, and I'm supporting the man all the way through. But that is the story right there. I don't want to dive too much into this multiverse and to the characters because that would be spoilers. This is a no spoiler review, so I'm going to keep it just as that. But I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed the characters. The actors played these characters really well. Shameik Moore is great as Miles Morales. Haley Steinfeld is great as Gwen Stacy. Jake Johnson is awesome as Peter B. Parker. It was great to hear him. Not only that, the man has a kid, and to find the reason why he has that kid, the scene that Peter B. Parker has with Miles Morales is perfect. Issa Rae as Jessica Drew, great. Brian Tyree Henry as Jefferson Davis, Miles' dad, and Miles' mom, Rio Morales, played by Luna Lauren, is great too as well. This whole cast is stacked. The voice acting, like I said, is top tier. I didn't dive into much of these characters, but that is what I needed to say to you guys. I always love talking about these characters when it comes to these reviews, these reel-it-in reviews, but the animation hits, the art style, the many art styles that this movie has throughout this film, in which in one dimension it might look different than the other dimension. Gwen Stacy's Spider-Gwen, her dimension looks totally different than Miles Morales. Spider-Man India, the same. So many dimensions in this film, and I love how they bring a new art style to those dimensions. The score, the music, everything hits. And that is why I have to watch this movie again, to catch the many Easter eggs, to see the cameos all over again. And on top of that, the comedy in this movie is hilarious. There are times where a joke is being said and it's hilarious, but the movie is moving on to the next joke, but you're still laughing at what was being said previously. So now you gotta catch up to the next joke, but by then, you're trying to catch up. An Easter egg or a cameo hits the screen and you're just in shock and in awe. This movie moves really fast for its runtime, and I understand that. It has a lot to cover, and like I said, it covers it really well here. I think that might be my minor criticism, but that is a personal minor criticism for me. But yeah, this movie is a 5 out of 5, a 10 out of 10. You need to reel this in. So yes, this has my stamp. This has my approval. Reel in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. But this is my reel it in review. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for reeling it in and clicking on this video. I truly appreciate it. Go see this film. Go have a blast. And I know for sure you will enjoy it. Plus, hit the comments down below what you guys think about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Do you think this is better than the first film? I think it's better than the first film, but I need to hear what you guys think, so sound off in the comments down below. That first film is a 10 out of 10, a 5 out of 5 for me, and it's the same here with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, but I have this as my #1 Spider-Verse film. I'm not sure where this ranks among all the Spider-Man movies. That is something I will have to talk about or discuss with myself at a later time, but right now I enjoyed this sequel better than the first film. So yeah, I'll be sure to let you guys know where it sits in my ranking of this Spider multiverse with Tom Holland movies, with the Sony universe, with Tobey Maguire movies and the Andrew Garfield movies. I'll be sure to let you guys know, but as of right now, Spider-Verse, this sequel is peak. It's my favorite Spider-Man film with Miles Morales. So there you guys have it. I'll catch you guys in the next Reel It In review. As always, this is Reel It In Reactions. I'm Reel It In Miles. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.